I'm a really good multitasker. I mean, I don't want to brag or nothing, but I can disappoint 15 people at once. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dan Inner channel. We're back with the Rescue Sierra. In the last video, we replaced the upper and lower control arms and improved the ride quality of this truck in the front greatly. Well, today we just have a variety of parts that I'm going to be installing on this truck to try to get rid of the last bit of vibration and clunkiness that I hear in the front suspension. I've got some bushings for the sway bar and some sway bar end links. And the biggest source of clunking that going on in the truck right now is actually the steering shaft. The steering column bushing that comes on these trucks wear out over time. I will say in my Silverado, never had to change one of these. This thing is rattling really bad in the steering column. All I'm doing is pulling out of a parking lot that's gravel and pulling out onto the street, and you'll hear this clunking noise. Alright, so that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be replacing the steering column bushing, part number I got for it. And these are just some random bushings that I got from the store in town. So let's get started. Okay, so we've got the truck all jacked up on jack stands. We're going to go ahead and replace these sway bar end links plus the bushings around the sway bar itself. So here's the difference between the old bushing and the new. Yeah, I'd say that's going to help improve the stabilization properties. And these go on just the way we took it off. So the bushing and the sleeve go through the control arm, and then the bushing, come back here, bushing, washer, spacer, washer, bushing, with this nipple end going into the hole of the sway bar. And then the top end is bushing with the threaded sleeve and cap. So just spin that on. And according to the paper that came in the package, this gets torqued to 20 foot-pounds. Yeah, that's 20. Alright, this one's being cantankerous, so we're going to use the good old vice grips to hold that cap while we zip this thing off. Okay, we're going to put this new one in, but I've got a slight citramization going on right now. This is going to have to be pried upwards to be able to get all this stuff going in at once. Again, I've got the lower washer, the bushing with the sleeve going in first, then another bushing, washer, long spacer, and then we're going to have this washer and another bushing. As you can see, I've already run out of room. I don't want to lose my bolt, so this is going to be difficult to do with one hand. There we go. Just had to put my weight into it, which recently has kept going up every time I step on the scale.
Jay, let's face it, I have ballooned up.
Anyway, I digress. I'm sure that was 20 foot-pounds, at least. Now we're going to go after these bad boys. There are only two 10mm bolts holding this bracket in. These pivot head extensions have come in so handy for me. I moved my jack stands to underneath the lower control arm to lift up on the control arm a little bit and take some of this tension off of the sway bar. Hopefully that helps. I'll say it again for the umpteenth time, these ratcheting wrenches, I don't know how I lived without them. And then the bushing just slides off the thing like that. These don't look like they're that old, but they're definitely deformed. So here's our new one. Yeah, that's a lot tighter. So this should be decently tricky. Trying to line all this back up. So now I'm going to go after that steering column bushing, and I've attached a bungee cord to the frame of the seat wrapped around here, so I don't want the steering wheel turning a complete revolution without me being aware. So this will keep it from doing that. There's a clock spring inside these steering columns that if they get damaged or break, it's a bad thing. Your ABS light will come on, all that bad stuff. So, and then looking underneath the dashboard, right on here is the steering column. Here's the steering shaft and knuckle. You see that black line I just drew on there. I'm just being overly cautious. I just want to make sure I can get everything lined up exactly the way it was whenever I go to disconnect this thing. There's this 15mm nut on the end of this bolt. I need to knock that nut off, and then that'll separate the steering shaft from this knuckle right there. And then this white piece right there is the actual bushing. The new one's green. I don't know why, but anyway. Should be able to just pull straight down on this thing. There, get that out of the way. And now this is what we're after right here. This bushing slides up into the shaft quite a ways, and at the end of the bushing itself, there's some tabs. So we've got to overcome those tabs holding this thing into place. So this thing should be kind of a bear to get popped out. There we go. See, that goes up there quite a ways. Okay, move that down. I should give me room to pull it off. There we go. Let's take a closer look at this thing. Feels a little crunchy when you roll the bearing, but it's not horrible. I don't feel a whole lot of movement. Yeah, I just took my screwdriver, knocked out the bearings. I just want to see how well this is greased, and it's not greased with a whole lot. So I'm going to take some of this axle grease. Grease it real good. Alright, that's sliding real good now. We'll roll with that. Put a little grease on the outside, help that slide into place when we put it in. Alright, I gotta line up these little tabs right here with the tab that is right here. I'm sticking my finger in it right there. So I need to line those up. There we go. There we go. Okay. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Okay, I've got a little hang up here. I'm not sure what's going on. Okay, so I've only been able to get it to go so far, and I just can't do it with my hand. So I've grabbed my 35mm axle nut socket, slide it over here, and kind of slide hammer this thing on. that is in. Okay, so we'll just slide our shaft knuckle back in here. Cool, that's all there is to it.